Kane is in the building.
All right. Hey, everybody. This is kind of something new that I haven't done before, but we're going to try. So if it gets split up, that's what happens. I'm Jim Battenfield, and I am here with MJ today. You may recognize MJ from one of our earlier episodes, but you notice something is missing. How are you feeling?
Good. I'll be 1 month post-op tomorrow.
Awesome. Awesome. So, as you may know, if you listened to the earlier episode, MJ was injured at Collegiate Nationals. And if you go back and look at her MJ Lifts 22 is the Instagram. Is that right?
Yes, I think so.
If you go look and you go back to her recap, the line that gets me is time for the saddest meet recap ever. So it's you can tell she's definitely in a much better spirit than she was when we spoke just a little while ago. So things are moving on the right direction. So leave out the gory details of the surgery, but how's recovery going? You're a month in. So.
I would say recovery's going really good. I like the place I'm going to for PT, and the people there are very nice, and they told me that as soon as I started that my range of motion was way better than they expected, so I'm assuming that my recovery is ahead of schedule than where it was supposed to be originally. So that made me excited to hear, because I was so worried that I would be out forever, and by the time August came, I still wouldn't be able to train. And I guess now the only thing that I'm gonna have to work on is the mental battle with it, because I know that at some point when I have to start benching again, I'm gonna get scared. But they've been working with me, going through the motions of benching again, so that when I actually get under a bar again, I won't be as scared. But when they first gave me the bar to do it, I was literally scared. They're like, "Sorry, we're gonna give you a little PTSD," and I was like, "Okay."
Well, I mean, the only way to learn how to swim again is to get back in the pool. So
Yeah.
it's a tough deal. But yeah, I'm telling you, it feels like I'm talking to a totally different person. Your whole demeanor is different, not having that sling on.
Yeah, I
So
was so depressed when it happened, because I kind of felt like everything was just kind of over when I broke my collarbone, and I've never broken or I've never been injured to the point to where I couldn't push through the injury and still keep going. Because for soccer season, I played our entire season last fall with my ribs popped out of place. So I was like, oh, I can keep going during the meet. And I kept telling Coach Jay and Bethany, I was like, just pop it back in, let me keep going. So it was just really a mental battle from the jump since I broke it. And now that I can move, I'm out of the sling, I can do stuff on my own, getting dressed is just good. It's it feels good to I guess feel whole again. I can do things on my own again.
yeah, I mean, you don't realize how much you use something until you can't. It's like when you break your pinky finger or something like that. You're like, oh, that's no big deal. No, yeah, actually, it is. You use it for a lot more than you realize. It throws everything off. So, and then when you talk about a collarbone, you're basically using. You can't use that whole arm.
Yeah.
So I know we're not released yet to do anything upper body, but how's your lower body? Are you ahead of the game of where you thought you might be?
I think a little bit yes and no. I usually, yesterday, I did hamstring curls. I can usually do a 45, but yesterday I had to bring it back down to a 25, which is fine. I can work back up to it. It threw me off a little bit, but I would say legs are going good. Josh has been programming me for my legs, because I told him, I was like, just because my arms are going to get weaker, I want to make sure my legs stay strong. It took me a long time to want to get in the weight room and work out again. And my first time working out since I broke it was Monday. And it felt good to work out, actually. I was very happy. I was in a great mood. And it went good for the most part.
Awesome. Well, I'm telling you, I can't say enough how happy you look compared to when we spoke before. So I'm thinking everybody's going to be as happy as I am to see this update. And man, so any 10 bit of advice if anybody else that may be going through the same thing, maybe somebody that didn't have such a public injury where everybody knew they got hurt, maybe somebody tweaked a hamstring or whatever, and they're trying to push back through it. Any input or advice you might give them to kind of keep their head in the game?
I think I would say for the most part, what kept me going is to surround yourself around people who want the best for you and want to see you succeed. And then also just trying to stay positive the whole time in it. He's one of the ones who helped me through it.
Who
But
was
I would
that? I
say
couldn't tell.
it was Christian.
Okay. I'm surprised he didn't hop on. I'm surprised he ain't hit me up to be on here yet. So that's on him. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, you definitely have a great surrounding cast up there. So I didn't put it together about soccer until recently. So you actually play soccer for BMC as well.
I started out as a soccer player, and then we came in here, worked out one day, and Coach Jay asked if I was interested in powerlifting. I was like, I have no idea what powerlifting is. And then he was like, well, would you want to try it? And I was like, sure, yeah. I don't see why not. So then I just started doing it, and this year was my first year of competing, and then last year was my first year like working out and doing it.
So are you going to be? Is your collarbone going to be ready for soccer?
That I'm not sure about, just because like it's such a physical sport and it's
Right.
shoulder to shoulder contact. That's another mental battle I know I'm gonna have to fight through. So I guess we're just gonna have to see what the doctors say. I have my next appointment, my 6 weeks post op, June 6th. So I'm gonna
So
ask them about it and see.
when does the season start? Like when does practice or the season start for soccer for Blue Mountain?
We're supposed to start August 1st. We come back before everyone else because that's when our preseason starts.
Well, that's a long time. So I think with your spirit, hopefully, you can get it together, and maybe even if you miss the tippy top start, everything. Even
Okay.
if you don't make it's a long time till August. So even if you don't make the very beginning of practice and such, maybe you can get it together and still be there pretty early in the season. So, we wish you well on that. We'll be following that as well. And yeah, that's one thing. I've had a lot of friends that played soccer, and that's one thing that people don't realize how physical that sport is because they think, oh, you're just running around kicking a ball. Yeah, but they are laying into each other anytime they get an opportunity. And if you can do it without getting a yellow card or a red card in the meantime, then yeah, it's just an extra bonus. It's a pretty physical sport, and then you run so much, especially if you play like center mid. I mean, you may run 5.5, 6 miles in a game.
Yeah, that's why I like playing defense. I won't have to run as much. Hopefully.
Well, that's another peg in the right direction to help keep things to help you with getting going again. But yeah, just wanted to do a quick little update. I won't keep you. I know you're getting ready to train a little bit today. If you want to keep up with MJ's recovery, it's MJ Lives 22 on Instagram. She's doing a pretty good job of posting everything. I know saw the video just recently about getting back into it with the thumbs up. So big things ahead. I'm looking for a great 25, 26, and we'll see how everything goes leading up to New Orleans for collegiates.
Yes, back at home for it.
Yep. So, all right, well, MJ, thank you for your time, and we will talk to you soon.
All right, thank you.
Good morning. This is Talking Sip. I am Jim Battenfield, and today I am here with Olivia Sharpe. That name may sound familiar from Olivia Sharpe Photography. So she has shot a meet recently. She is gonna shoot the Meltdown on the Mississippi in August. But we're gonna let her talk a little bit about how she came to know me and how she got drugged into this powerlifting world and what she's got going on, and if she ever thought this might be something we were doing a year ago, even. So anyway, Olivia, go ahead.
Um, how do I start that? Okay. Hi, my name's Olivia Sharpe, founder and only employee of Olivia Sharpe Photography. I'm from Vernon, Mississippi. I currently go to Louisiana Tech and I am an athletics photographer. But I started doing athletic photography in high school, which is when I met Jim. I met him at Papa John's, like a year ago.
Yep.
And since then we have both left, which it happens. But Jim he asked me if I'd be interested in shooting a powerlifting meet that he was going to in Monroe last May, and I gave it a shot and I loved it. It was really fun. I'm doing another one at the end of May this year, also in Monroe, so that'll be really fun. But yeah, if you would have asked me a year ago, like before that, if I was going to do anything involving powerlifting, the answer is no. Because it's never been one of my interests, but I've grown to enjoy it.
So it's the first time. So you are one of the few people that actually, even though we met in a work environment where we're just trying to survive because that's just the nature of the restaurant business. you met me in a time where I wasn't talking a lot about powerlifting because it was during my brief hiatus. So is the first time we talked about powerlifting when you told me you were considering La Tech? Is that the first time it came up, or
Yeah,
is that something?
I think it was. I told you I was considering tech, and then you started telling me about how they're really into powerlifting and stuff.
Yeah, quite the dynasty when you go back, and still very competitive, and a lot of branches of the tree that make USAPL operate have the La Tech background. Um, so tell me a little bit about what you're doing at La Tech with your sports photography. I know I see you shoot basically basically every sport except powerlifting, but you guys don't really host anything at Tech. But you still end up shooting Tech athletes when you're shooting in Louisiana anyway, so it kind of works out.
Yeah. So I work, like I said, with La Tech Athletics through the school. So that means that every home game, every sport, unless we're overlapping, I will probably be there. I've done football, volleyball, men and women's basketball, baseball recently. We just ended that season. Well, we ended our home games. They're in Lynchburg right now with their tournament. Good luck to them. What else have I done? Soccer, you name it, I've probably done it. Track and field.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's really
sure.
fun. I really like my job. And which is really funny, Tech powerlifting is not officially a part of athletics. It's considered an intramural
Club.
club,
Yeah,
which is kind of
it's
kind of
like
fun.
that. It's like that with golly, probably 80% or better of the programs. There's only a few where it's recognized as a sport, but it's been around a long time, so it's obviously working. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but I've seen them like around campus. It's really funny. I like see them around campus. I'm like, I took photos of you, but you don't know that. Um, don't recognize me, which is really funny. But other than like meets, I don't really do powerlifting.
Well, yeah, it's definitely, and you ended up. I kind of watched. I kind of was surprised at how quick your intuition or whatever took in because you were getting in some really good positions for somebody that had. That was the first powerlifting meet you had ever been to at all when you came to shoot Tyler's meet then. So to be in the positions you were with the shots you get, which she's going to send me some of them. We're going to put these on here. I would plan to put them about right here so you can see some of her work. If you're planning to go to the Louisiana State Games in Monroe on the 31st, or if you're coming to the Meltdown on the Mississippi on the 2nd of August, the you'll have an idea of what you're going to get, and of course, you know, as you do more meets, you're going to find yourself in better spots. So it's going, and then I'm sure you would definitely say in the time that you shot that meet last, you've definitely picked up some tips and tricks to editing and all that stuff, just from having the extra time. But I've seen your work; it's been great, so I really enjoy it. As you know, I'm a fan. I try to utilize you, and I try to promote your stuff whenever I can, and then likewise, which I really appreciate. So it's nice to have those things come together. And like we talked about, definitely something I didn't foresee a year or two. You know, oh yeah, for sure. I'll be talking to Olivia on a podcast talking about powerlifting, and we'll be getting ready to go to a powerlifting meet. Yeah, so but
No,
I mean,
no.
it's funny how
I think it's really funny how I considered quitting when I heard you were coming back, and now here we are.
yeah. Well, you know, I had that effect on people, but you know, uh, people grow, and then you know, and then eventually, as I mean, Olivia, I will say Olivia was a great employee, which obviously makes it easy to have any kind of back and forth because I'm not going to just sit here and talk to people are not good employees because those people drive me crazy. So, but yeah, I'm very happy that neither one of us are there and haven't made pizza in some time. So, you know, bless up for that for sure. So, um, but yeah, so I will link in the bio of this where to sign up for both the Louisiana State games and for the Meltdown on the Mississippi. Now, do you want to talk briefly about what you're going to be doing in between there? Because that's actually about the only activity you're going to be doing um, in in this area because you're going to be a little tied up over on the East Coast.
I am. This is kind of funny. I guess this was like my big announcement. Because you've seen it on my Instagram. I've like teased, but I haven't said.
Oh well, look at me with breaking news. So
Like, this is the big reveal. I'm gonna be at a sports camp in North Carolina this summer. I will be assisting with sports photography for this camp. It is for 4th grade through 12th grade athletes, and they come from all over the state, all over the country. So I'm really excited to help with that. But yeah, so literally the timeline is this Saturday, May 24th. I leave and go home from tech for the summer. And then May 31st, I'm in Monroe for Louisiana State Games. I come home for a couple days. June 7th, I'm going to Gatlinburg for a little vacation before I go to North Carolina.
nice,
On the 10th, I'll be in North Carolina until July 28th. Then I'll do another short Gatlinburg trip, just getting to and from Mississippi. And then
nice,
I come back to Mississippi from Gatlinburg August 1st. And then Meltdown is August 2nd. And then
nice.
I'm chilling until September when I have to come back. Maybe, because we do have like soccer and different sports in August. So I may have to come back to tech a little early. But the timeline is very quick from there. But I'm very excited. I'm very grateful for the opportunities that I've been presented, especially because I did kick off, like when I did the meet last May in Monroe, I wasn't
I, so
Olivia.
I think it was I think it was December actually. Yeah, it was December because it was the weekend before I went to San Antonio.
Really
It feels
thought
like it yeah, hey, it's been a long year. So
all right,
yeah, so
we're
that's
getting
okay. I was kind of thinking when you said it the first time, I was like, man, was it? I was like, man, it's been a long year, and I was like, no, it was December because it was the weekend before I went to the pro finals. That's okay.
my bad. Anyway, so I guess we'll go back. In December, Olivia Sharpe photography wasn't even a thing. Like, none of it was set up until January, I think, is when I started. And so just to be in this position where I have La Tech Athletics as a job, and then I'm doing powerlifting meets, and I'm getting this camp job. I'm very grateful for these opportunities with how new I am, but I'm also seeing growth in myself, like you said, from the last meet through like my work and stuff. I'm very excited to see what comes out of the May meet for me, especially.
Yeah, so am I. But again, like I said, especially for somebody that's never been to or shot a powerlifting meet or really knew much about it outside of what I told you on the way over, which it wasn't a long ride because I picked you up from tech. So whatever, 30 minutes? Like, hey, by the way, so this is what's going to happen, and then good luck, you know, try not to mess up. So, but yeah, I thought you've been great. Yeah, and then of course I've been rooting for you on this whole process. So it's kind of been nice, and we've done a pretty good job over the last year or so for sure, gassing each other up as we tried to chase some things. So it's been a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to how.
Oh, okay, sorry.
That's okay. I'm looking forward to how the May meet goes. Again, that's the USA Powerlifting Louisiana State Games. I'm gonna post the link in the bio for this, and I'll probably post it with some teaser I put up, and then also the Meltdown on the Mississippi, which I literally got the logo for just a second ago. So I'm excited to that, so I can throw that in this episode. Um, Hopefully, I can get approval in the time between now and Thursday. If not, be looking for that this weekend or something to that effect. So, but yeah, so I'm doing like a double episode because I'm gonna have you talk a little bit about your stuff, and then I'm gonna have, and I'm gonna cut this out. This is just me telling you because I
Yeah.
didn't tell you what I was doing. The girl that broke her collarbone, I'm gonna clip her in at the end because she's back and back to training. So it'd be kind of a double episode. Be the first time I've done that. So I'm gonna learn how to use all this stuff that's available for what I'm paying for. So, um, but Olivia, it's been great. I appreciate your time. Anything you'd like to add besides follow Olivia_Sharpe, Sharpe with an E, but not like the marker underscore photography.
Um,
And then also I'll have links on. I'll put the link up on USA PLMS for sure for the meltdown as well because we're close enough now that that needs to be on the bio. And anything you'd like to add about what you've got coming up, or anything anything funny you'd like to add from what you've learned in powerlifting this brief time, or
um, I didn't know that all of my positions were good when I did it, so I'm glad that those were good. But no, I'm really excited for these upcoming meets. And if you're at the meets, come say hi. I'd love to chat, get to know you, things like that. But thank you for your time. I really appreciate this.
Of course. And then of course, if you miss the link to sign up, but you see this maybe the night before the meet or whatever, Olivia is going to take shots at pretty much everybody. So if you miss, you'll still have an opportunity to get it after the fact. I know that happened. I think you ended up selling more at the meet than you did in advance last time. So maybe that'll be the case. But she's got some great work, and like I said, we're going to work that in. So Olivia, thanks for your time, and go dogs or whatever.
Good
But
on.
I will talk to you soon.